G'day guys, welcome back to Wombat Gaming. Going to do a video on settlement building. This would be a great settlement for a first settlement. It has a lot of resources. Now there are a number of videos out there. I will put that up as a disclaimer showing you this particular system, and I have seen them, but I think they are missing a few key points, and I think I'm just going to put my spin on it and hopefully give you a little bit more of in-depth information and hopefully make this settlement a better settlement for you. Firstly, I'm going to show you where we are heading, and a lot of you probably already know, but this Beetle 3b is quite a good planet. You can see on the bottom left there all the resources that it currently has available to you. Aluminium, nickel, iron, those three potentially are your most common resources that you're going to need, and there is a lot of other resources there that you can use in this particular system as well. So bear that in mind. We are going to show you step by step though, if you haven't seen those other videos, how to create this settlement. And I am going to give you a unique spin on settlement building. I've got a lot of experience from building in Fallout 4 and 76. I know they are different games, but I love settlement building in other games as well. So this is something that I am passionate about. Now, it's not going to be perfect. If you think there are some tips that I have missed, please share them in comments. I'm trying to get back to everybody, and I thank you to everybody for the wonderful support that I'm getting on my channel. Yes, let's get going and just to see if we can get this settlement up and running and show you how best to optimize Beetle 3b as your new settlement. All right, guys, we're going to need some resources for this, so I'm going to give you a list. I'm going to put that up on the screen right now. These are the resources that you're going to need to build and get yourself going. So please write these down. You're going to need these, and there are a few ways you can get it. Most of the information out there is saying maybe head to Jemison. The reason for that is I guess most people have been to Jemison, and there are plenty of merchants there to get resources. I have another way of getting it. I think that, to be honest, the best way is to head over here and make sure you hit for Aquila. And the reason for that is in Aquila City we have a couple of options for getting resources, but there is also a small, I guess, game glitch that you can get the resources for free. If you are wanting to go down that road, you may not have to pay for some of these resources at all. So I will show you both options. Essentially you will need to buy them, of course, but if you do enter Aquila and head into the main area, most of you may have seen this glitch before. If you are after credits, there are 3 locations here you can actually pick up some things. One over here to the right. If you just squat down and go into third person mode, you can see if you point to the ground there, there's some credits there. If you highlight, and then some other stuff, but also we have shepherds. There is some stuff here as well. If you head towards this puddle here, you can see there's 5,000 credits here that you can take. And also if you obviously go into transfer, there is a number of resources that you can get as well. I'm running a mod at the moment that shows the resource area, I guess, my inventory a little bit differently. So if you're going, what the hell is going on there? This is a mod. I'm on PC. It just helps me organize my inventory a little bit better. So yeah, what we're going to need is the following ingredients. Alright guys, the first thing you're going to need is some resources, and the list of items that you're going to need I will put on screen again, but essentially you're going to need some aluminium. We need 14. Unfortunately he only has 11, but we are going to take them. We are going to need some beryllium as well, and we are going to need at least 2 beryllium, but he has 5, so we're going to take them. Remember, I am using the glitch to get these for free. If you wanted to pay for these, you'd need to go into Shepherds and buy them. We also are going to need some cobalt. So cobalt, as you can see, is not available in this particular vendor, which we'll have to go to another one. We'll show you in a second. He is just up the road. Well, she is just up the road. And we're going to need 2 fiber. So the fiber, we have 24 here. So you can take as much as you need. Remember, you're going to weigh yourself down potentially. We need 20 iron as well. We're only getting 9 here, so let's take those. We also need 15 nickel. So nickel is something that we are going to need at another place as well. We need 15 nickel, so we're getting 5 nickel here. We also need some tungsten. So tungsten, there's 5 available here. We're going to need more than that. We're going to need 16, so we're going to take all of them as well. and we need some zero wire. Now there's 22 available here. Zero wire is pretty important in the making process, and while we're here we might as well grab it all. They're also going to be making some adaptive frames later on, so that is one of the things you would be wanting to make. If you want to get them now, you might as well get some. There are 23 adaptive frames here. You might as well grab them without weighing yourself down too much. As you can see, my mass is now 219 over 165, so I am going to be slowed down quite a bit. Let's head off to the next vendor and get the rest of those resources that we need. You run this way, just up the top of these stairs to the left. There is another vendor. This one just specializes in minerals, so we'll head on in there. Now these you are going to have to pay for, so this one here, this is the young lady you need to speak to, and we're going to pick up the remainder of those things that you need. The other alternative, of course, is that you can just sit down on a bench, wait 24 hours, and the vendor that we just glitched and took the resources from, you could then approach them and take the resources as well. So there are two options for you to get all the ingredients for free. I think there was only one particular item that we didn't have, and I think that was beryllium. Now she specializes in all the minerals, so you're going to be able to find everything here. So again, we needed aluminium. She has plenty of that. I have plenty of money, as you can see. We're going to take all of that. We're going to take the beryllium, and we're going to need cobalt as well. We're going to take that. If you want to refer back to the previous list. Now she doesn't carry fiber because that's not a mineral, but we had plenty from the other vendor. Now we needed some more iron. We're just going to take this. So you can come here and collect all these items. 23 nickel, we needed only 15, and tungsten 21, we only needed 16. This is why this place is so good, because you get everything. The only two things you don't get from her are fiber and zero wire, but you do get it from Shepherds. So essentially we have everything we need now, and that is all sorted. So I will just quickly show you again where we are. So this is Midtown Minerals. You get everything there except for the zero wire and the fiber, and then we're going to run back down towards Shepherds. And as you can see, I'm quite bearing a lot of weight at the moment. So Shepherds is the other one. So, and the glitch was here in the puddle, if you remember. You can just go there. So if you want to re-trigger this, you will need to wait. You could just sit down on this bench here for 24 hours. You'll need to go in, speak to the vendor again, and see that they are restocked. Come back out and grab the things that you need. So you could do that over and over, but you still are going to need a couple of ingredients anyway. Alright, so we've got the ingredients. We are now going to head back to Beetle 3B, and I'm going to show you how to find this location and essentially place down your beacon. Before I do that, there is one quick tip that I did forget to mention before we shoot off. We are fairly close to our spaceship at the moment. If you go into your menu and you go to your ship, at the bottom right hand corner there is a cargo hold. Now my cargo hold is unfortunately maxed out, but you can go into your inventory and go to resources and then transfer category items to container, and it's at max capacity, as you can see. So I've already got a full ship, but if you come here with an empty ship, that would be the best way of doing it, and you could just essentially transfer it straight to the ship and then wouldn't be overburdened like I am right now. Alright, we're going to head to Beetle 3. I will see you there. Alright, we're about to leave Aquila City, so we're on the star map, and remember that Beetle 3 is, where am I? Yeah, over here to the left, so essentially you're just above Sol, so over here, and that's where we're heading right now. Alright, the planet we want to go to is Beetle 3B. Okay, we are at Beetle 3B, and we want to scan the resources on the planet. And if you have seen the other video, you will know that we are heading for this location here. Alright, so if those who have not seen the videos that tell you where to land, you're going to be looking at a location that has 3 biodomes. So as you can see, if we click here, we have a rocky desert. and then we have hills, and then we have mountains. Right, so we need to click until we find the closest point between all three bios. So we would just, that's mountains, and if we clicked here, that's hills, and then if we clicked up a bit, we've got hills. So you're just doing this until you find, we need to find the hills again. We need to find the rocky desert. There we go, there's a rocky desert. So here's rocky desert here, and rocky desert, we need to go up a little bit higher, over to the right a little bit. Mountains, we don't have hills, so hills I think are up higher or lower. Yep, there we go, there's hills. So we want to do this until we find the sweet spot. And there we have mountains, hills, rocky desert. There we go. So this is kind of our sweet spot here. Now we want to land in the mountains. Right, so we'll settle on this location. My first tip here is do a save, a hard save. Because if you do mess this up and you find that you're in the wrong location, you do not want these landing markers all over the place. And believe me, they will add up and it'll make it so much harder for you to land. So do a hard save right now, and then we will land in this location and I will show you how to find the particular spot that we are looking for. Alright guys, we've landed on Abyssal 3, and the reason for the save up in space was because, as you notice the top right hand corner, we did an auto save. If you've just done an auto save, sometimes it can override your previous auto save, so just bear that in mind. Now we are in the perfect spot. I managed to nail it first go. We want to be on this hill. This landing spot will always be here, and you can see in the distance we've got this big black mountain, and then we have some cratery kind of flatlands down here. Now we want to head down this way, basically at the foot of that mountain there. So let's head down that way and I'll show you how to find this particular site for your settlement. Just bear in mind too, the atmosphere here is different to, say, Jemison. As you can see, we're encumbered, we are, and we can run and jump a lot further here. Now, as I pointed out, you will know you're in the right spot when you do see this big black mountain. Sometimes it can be quite foggy or dark and be hard to see. So again, you can reuse that save that you did in outer space if you can pinpoint the location, or you can save when you do land, and if you think you're in the right spot, you can do another hard save then, and just to make sure you don't lose the spot that you've landed in, because this is going to be the perfect spot. So we're going to head down this way. Now when we get to the bottom here, I'm going to show you why this is such a great spot. You want to open up your scanner and you want to bring out your beacon for creating a settlement. Now if we were to place a settlement right here, you can see in the top left hand corner we would have access to iron, nickel and water. Now we want to have more than that. We want 5 resources. There is a potential to get at least 3 of each item in your settlement. So we want to find the cobalt that's going to be on this hill. There we go. So we've got cobalt up there. And then we want to find aluminium. So aluminium is going to be down in towards this craterous area. So we'll just move down here a little bit. We lost, what did we lose then? We lost cobalt, so we don't want to do that. We want to move over this way then. And there we go, there's aluminium. So we want to head over this way. And we want to find the sweet spot now in between all 3. You can do this a couple of different ways. You can just place the beacon and then have a look at the extractors and see, and we're going to do that anyway. But I find that just moving it around and eliminating where you think the resources are going to be, I guess, cutting off, you can find a sweet spot. Let's go down the hill. We're going to lose cobalt going this way. And here we go, we lost cobalt. So we know that this is cobalt up here. Let's see how far we can go without losing aluminium. All right, we lost aluminium there, so that's kind of the middle between those two. Now iron, if we go this way, we lose iron, and then we get it back. So I'm guessing this is kind of going to be the sweet spot, maybe just about here. We'll try this, and I'll show you how to check. So we want to place the beacon, and then we want to go into the view that brings you up the top. and we want to scroll through each extractor. So we want to go to aluminium. We know that's down the bottom of the hill, so it's going to be over here to the left somewhere, I think. All right, so we have, this is our border, so we're going to get one there, and the distance between each one is probably about that much. So we can place 2 of each extractor without running out of materials, because we need to build power, remember, as well. So we don't want to, unless you've got an abundance of these particular items and you gathered more than what we needed, only build 1 to 2. But I suggest 2, and I'll show you why, because we want to get to the very edge. Place 1, and then we can do 2. So we know that's the distance for 2. So we'll place the 1, and then if you place the 2, we know we're going to get at least 3 here. Possibly 4. I'd say just the 3, to be honest. But now we'll go to cobalt, which is up on the top of the hill. Same thing applies. Now cobalt's a bit weird in this area. I notice you can build cobalt outside the blue, as you can see. We can build that there. So we're going to get possibly just a 2 here. There's not a lot of cobalt here, as you can see. So we could move the beacon over to our left a little bit more to get more of this area, because I know there's a bit of cobalt up here. So we actually might get 3. All right, we're going to get 3. I think that's going to work. 1 there and then 1 up here. So that's 3. So we'll just place the 1 at the moment. We're going to check our iron, which is on this far right side. All right, plenty of iron opportunities over here. We're going to get, yeah, we're going to get 1. One here. We'll just try and get a best spot. There we go, 1, and then we can put another one here if we want to as well. But we won't build any more at this stage, because we know we're going to get 3 of each easily. Nickel was the other one. That's up on the hill. No issues with nickel at all, but we will put it as far away from the center as possible. Now if you have this foundation is too tall, come up, just spin the extractor and place it that way. And we'll build 2 of these while we're here. We're going to need nickel. So, all right. So we got 2 of those and 1 of each of the others. Now, to make sure we don't run out of resources to keep building, and then we don't have to go back to Aquila City to get more, or run around the actual planet finding it, we need to build, as you can see, 30 power. So now we want to build wind turbines. Now the reason for that is, as you can see, solar arrays, they need beryllium and copper, which we don't have on this planet. But wind turbines need aluminium, cobalt, and nickel, which we do. So we're mining those, so no issues at all. Now we want to not build in the area that we have our resources. We want to keep away from that area. So if you wanted to check, you could just go back over to your extractor, and this is aluminium. So we know that the aluminium, the last spot was here. So if we want to build now the turbines, we can just go outside this area. Now we need 30 power, and so we'll just place a few of these down. And you need a few of these. You need 2 for each extractor. See how we're running out of nickel? This is going to be the last 2 that we can build, and we're just going to perfectly cover our power needs. See, so we have no more nickel now. So if we had built any more extractors with the amount of nickel that I had, we would not be able to build any more. Now we are out of nickel and we're almost out of cobalt, so we want to now build a bed. Now you can go back to your ship if you want to do this that way, but my ship is up on the hill, and we need the aluminium and fiber, which we have an abundance of, and we'll just place the bed next to our beacon for the time being, so you can move that later. Now the benefit of this world is its time zone area. So as you can see here, when you sleep, 1 local hour is equivalent to 57 hours and 47 minutes of UT time. Now your extractors work off UT time, so just even sleeping for a couple of hours here, I'll show you, is going to fill up those extractors without an issue at all. Okay, now we'll go back into our build menu and we'll have a look at those wind turbines that we were running out of items for. You can see now we have, there we go, we have so much nickel and cobalt, it isn't funny. and even our aluminium's gone up. So we have all the resources to build more of all the extractors and build more of the turbines to build for your power needs. The other items that you're going to want to do are going to be storage units. Another is adaptive frames. We picked some of them up when we were on the Aquila city area, but we can make them with an industrial bench. So that's another thing. If you didn't pick them up, you were going to need. So we'll go into our work section. You can see that only needs aluminium and iron to build, which we are building here. So we'll place one of them and I'll show you how to build the adaptive frames. Right, we got this little problem here. As you can see, cannot use this, it is obstructed. Now if you do get this error, it happens to me quite a bit, just save the game. There's two ways you can do this: save the game and then exit and come back in, or we can try moving the workbench and see if that works. And you see that didn't, so we're going to need to save the game and come back in, and I'll show you that it will then work. Give me 1 second. Okay, we have saved the game and come back in, and it's still saying we cannot. It's saying this is being obstructed, so I'm not sure why. So we will try moving it further away. Not really sure what is going on here. This is a bug in the system, I've noticed. Move it down here. Nope, still saying we cannot use it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to try one other thing. I'm going to just delete this and try again.
This place is really shaping up.
Nope, we're having all sorts of issues. So what we're going to do is, the only other alternative that we do have is we can go into our build menu and just build a... We could place a hab here somewhere. Oops, actually I didn't actually select the height. I don't know how many times you guys have done that, but I've done that so many times it isn't funny. We'll delete this. Unfortunately, we can't carry these items through airlocks. All right, now we're going to try that again. We'll place the workbench in here. And we have success, finally. Okay, so if you do get that bug, guys, there you go. There's the solve for it. The save issue normally works for me. When I save and come back in, it normally fixes the problem, but obviously this one just needed to be in the building for it to work. All right, the first one we have is adaptive frames. These are super important, as we saw, for building. Now, the resources you're going to need are aluminium and iron, and we obviously have them on this planet, so we can craft as many of these as we want. And what it needs to do is basically sleep each time and continue the process. So we could keep the, if you wanted to, and stop leaving this room, we could get back into the build menu and we could build ourselves a bed in here. Go ahead and sleep again, sleep for a few hours. Okay, now that we've woken up, if we go back into our build menu, we can continue on with our build. And the things that we're going to need now are more of the extractors and some storage. Now you can see we did need the adaptive frames for storage. There is mainly, obviously, all the items we are collecting on this planet are essentially solid items. So I like to put the containers down near the items that I'm collecting. As in, here we go, here's the aluminium. Now, if you do research, you can obviously put bigger containers down. As you can see, I can put bigger containers down because I've done more research into outpost building. These hold more, obviously bigger, so I'm not really sure what the benefit is if you put four of these together. I think it just looks nicer. So, but for this particular thing, just because it is my main, I'm going to make it a main. Actually, no, we'll keep it just true to form for everybody. We're going to place one of those down, and that's all we're going to do. We're just going to place one down there. Now, these things are very glitchy, as you can see. Hopefully they'll fix this. You get too close, they lock in. So we're going to put one at each area. So just bear that in mind, and keep it outside the radius of the extraction area. All right, we wanted that was the cobalt, and I think we had nickel. We go up a hill, it gets a little bit funny for some reason. Can't find the nickel extractor, it's up here somewhere. Alright, this is the nickel area. This is the only problem with hills. This view is terrible. There we go, we can hear it there. We can put another nickel extractor in. And go back to our storage, build that outside. Now you want to link these up. And our iron, that was over here somewhere, down the hill I think actually. Yep, it's out here. And we wanted probably another iron extractor. Alright, now we want to link them. So you want to go into a tab for PC, go into this menu and highlight the extractor, right click with your mouse and then line it up with the container, and then right click again, and the same for each one. Now do this because then your containers are only filling up with that particular resource. The worst thing is having them all go to one container and that container gets full of one thing and then you have nowhere to put the resource at all. Okay, we got that one, and I think there we go. Here's the cobalt. Actually, we needed another cobalt extractor to make it 2 for 2 at the moment, so we'll just come back out of here and we could get, can we get the 3 in? See, no, so we see if we can move that down a bit. Once you've linked things up, you can see the link's still there. You can actually move these, so it's not going to be the end of the world if you do move them. I couldn't move that any further away, which is a shame. So right, that wasn't going to work, so maybe we'll try and move this one down the hill a little bit. And then we'll try this one more time. Now, it looks like we're only going to get 2 cobalt, but that's fine. The 2 is plenty. If we wanted to play around with this, we could move the beacon. I thought it was going to work. Not sure why it's not working. Anyway, we could have moved the beacon over a little bit. So they're little things that you want to look for before you start building everything. So bear that in mind. Yes, inside their radius, unfortunately. Yeah, I could check outside just to make sure. Actually, I might try and move this one out this way a little bit. Or, yeah, I think. And then try this again. It's going to be a little bit of fiddling around. Actually, it shouldn't be any reason that why. Alright, we're only going to get the 2. That's alright. Let's go back to this. Right click. We'll join this on. And then we're going to join. That's our nickel. And we're going to right click and join that one. Alright, so now we have all our containers linked. You can see they're all linked to containers each. And essentially, we have an unlimited supply now of those particular items. I'm not sure if I've missed anything, but essentially we'll just go ahead and sleep and for a couple of hours, and I'll show you how full these are. The more of these containers that you have, obviously, the more you're going to be able to collect. So you can also link the containers just like we did the extractors with the containers. So you put one extractor down, link everything to it, and then you put another container next to it, then link the other container to that container. That would be the best way to do it. Don't go linking every extractor to every container. make sure you just do it to the very first container, then link your containers. That way, when you want to start distributing resources through other means, through the, if you want to build in other parts of the solar system and you want to set up, the shipment landing pads, then you will want to have that more organized. All right, so we're going to sleep and we're going to see just how many resources we get. This is just for, say, 4 hours, but as you can see, it's a lot of time in UT.
Snoring.
And then we will go back out into our build menu and just have a look at how much. Let's go to an item that we need. So the only thing, as I said, with extractors is the tungsten. It's the only thing we don't have for extractors. So just bear that in mind if you are looking to build more of these extractors. Tungsten is the one thing you cannot produce on this particular planet, and you're going to need more of them. But let's have a look at, say, the wind turbine. You can see cobalt, and we're now up at nearly 400, nickel at nearly 600, and aluminium at 400. So it looks like the aluminium's full, and yeah, we could just keep going. I hope this was helpful, guys. Essentially, this is just the basics. This just gets the outpost up and running. There's a lot more complexities to how this outpost would eventually look. You would want to start upgrading things, like your wind turbines, if you wanted to better ones, your extractors to better ones, obviously your containers as well. And then you want to build a landing pad. If you want to build a landing pad, let's have a look. That's keeping your ship nice and close. You would need to have more adaptive frames. Actually, before we go, let's just quickly build a few of those, and we'll put it down. Okay, we didn't need too many, so.
Is there anything you can't do?
Every time you build something too, it's giving you an XP as well, so just bear that in mind. Could turn this into a farm for XP. I'll show you that actually in a second as well. So we've got the landing pad now. Let's go back out. Now we did want to build it in an area where it's not taking up space. So there's, you can see this area here seems to be a good area where there's no resources. So we can place that down there. And now we have our landing pad over here. So the XP farm works with the magnets. These guys will basically produce XP for every one that you build, and all you need is cobalt and nickel. Now we produce that already on this planet, so if you wanted to build some more storage and just bulk up on those particular two items, you could come into this menu and then basically just build 99 of these each go. That's the maximum amount you're allowed to build each go. And you just see, I'll just build 99 and I'll show you. That gives you 108 XP. And so if you have the items that are needed to build these stored up, then essentially you're not going to ever run out of this XP. So I do have that in another video, but I think this planet is actually the best one. That planet that I did put the XP farm on didn't have the other resources. This one has a lot more to offer. So this particular planet I think is the best one for it. Look, if you've got any questions, guys, I hope I covered everything. I really tried to be as, thorough as I could and try to explain everything that I've kind of learned. I'm by no means advanced in this area yet. Still learning a lot like everybody else, but this is like the basic coverage about how to lay out everything, making sure you get the most extractors. Just remember the beacon that I did lay out, we did miss out on getting 3 cobalt extractors. Now, we'll point out cobalt, I think, mines a little slower than aluminium. So the beacon, I would move up the hill just a little bit more to get 3 cobalt extractors in. I think we could probably have done that if in hindsight now. So, maybe using your save options as you do this, you can go back to those saves as you lay things out and work out where you are. But anyway, guys, again, if you did like this video and it was helpful, please hit that like button, hit subscribe for more content, and hopefully, guys, going forward, I will see you on the next video. Thanks again.